Send me some money.
Okay.
Color money.
Who was that? I'm almost there. Oh, it's right.
That is how. That's exactly how it sounded in Chinatown. Why is them niggas so mad every time they talk? Huh? Nah, not yeah. I got a little bit of this joint right here I bought.
What? That's almost gone.
It's the bottle, cause I swear we ain't drank that much. Yeah, we're getting 2 bottles of tequila.
This light is really bright. Hello.
The only thing that I don't know, so be prepared, is they didn't specify if it was Blanco or Reposado.
For what?
The bottles. That's what I'm saying. They usually, yeah. But I'm saying, hey, whatever it is.
Shalom.
Oh my, y'all, you can come on. We about to.
Mario, you said I know I was.
We ready?
Here?
I'm ready.
No, we ready to go?
Where? We
I rock. We doing the stream.
I know Weezy in the building.
So we not introducing these niggas. They just on.
Man, just gonna pop up.
I rock. Report.
Pop up like it's it. You want him to sit right there?
I don't want to be in the punch zone. I'm gonna say something too funny.
No, he do it.
Yeah, let him sit right there. That's that push.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Super push.
Good.
Oh, we got Jaya in the building. Is that Jaya? Who is that? Is that Jaya or John Mugger? Who is that in the back? That's Jaya? The elephant. The elephant in the building. Hey, shout out to Jaya. Jaya, ain't you doing something special tomorrow? I gotta get some tequila. Oh. What you got? We got a problem. Shout out to Jaya. She got the state tournament and was wrestling tomorrow. Go out there and kick Esau ass and Israel ass. She kicking all ass tomorrow night. It's happening. Anybody can get. Ain't no nation. It's just Jaya in that bitch.
Anybody can get it.
I really can't see, man, out there. I'm really trying to see who's over there.
I mean, I can see a little bit if I squint.
I see bodies.
What?
Yeah, it's black. I see bodies. Who was that from? Snowfall? Bodies.
I didn't watch Snowfall.
Snowfall was cool, but it fell off for me. I fell off.
He looked kind of rough that last episode.
I'm on that From.
I haven't started that.
That shit is so bad.
From is not bad.
You already know how I feel, bro.
Bro, get out of here.
Me saying it's bad doesn't mean it's not watchable. It's watchable, but it's just you agree with me? It's a stupid show. From? Who said that? Yeah, who the hell was it?
Who is that? Oh man. From is a it's like a sci-fi thriller.
It's a stupid show about a bunch of people that get stuck in a place.
I love you, sir.
Now, From is a good ass show, though. I ain't gonna hold you. The first episode that got me hooked, which was dumb. I don't know how the nigga got blamed for his family dying. I 100% believe the mother was at fault. Yeah, she was at fault. That was stupid. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. You're a grown-ass woman. You mean to tell me he was out drunk, but here's the thing. That's the bullshit because we know that he's drunk, so now we blame it on him. But what if he wasn't drunk? What if he got killed? Would that mean that the mother not responsible for nailing the windows down for her daughter now? Yeah, it was the mother's fault. Yeah, welcome to the CBP podcast. Yeah, where's our rock? You ready? We ready. We about to roll.
Hey, me and you gotta have a conversation.
After
this.
Yeah.
We got brothers coming up tomorrow to get equipment. And so they need my presence. You understand what I'm saying, sir?
And we need yours.
They need my presence.
You ready, I rock? Oh, he want the grand introduction.
That's fair.
Yeah, you.
Wait. Should we? What you think? No, you right. We press the top.
Yeah, you should right here. This your seat. Mind your stations.
Oh, man.
I'm doing the intro, right?
Yeah.
Yo, what's the
She
phrase?
got the intro.
I
What?
got the intro.
The phrase for what?
How you say 4 horsemen in Hebrew again? We had it written down. I can't remember it.
You said pull it.
F it.
What's the phrase? The 4 horsemen in Hebrew?
It's like Pagai something.
Yeah, you got me on that one.
I had it written down.
That's the Wabba one.
Sluggy? We good on the DSLR one? Oh, sign correct. Remember that really mostly is focusing on Mahayar and Iraq. And so this one right here is me and Yaramak.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then this is everybody.
But is this ready to go though? No, is it recording though?
He
This
he
red-
probably pressed it manually.
This red one is recording. Where's the button?
Testing.
You have the button.
I got it.
Mhm.
All right.
But just you might turn it off by accident.
No, I didn't press the button.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so we just gonna just 1, 2, 3, start clapping and we'll be back.
Yeah. So we're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit it.
Clap it up, y'all. Clap it up.
Yeah.
Clap it up.
We back.
Shalom. How was your mouth? How was shy? How everybody doing?
Salam, y'all. What's happening?
What's up? Y'all, tonight is a very special night. We're here to talk about the Genesis, the beginning.
Ooh,
That's a good word.
Thank you.
I like that.
Of the Durham School,
It's a good
of
play.
the
Genesis.
Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple of brothers here with me tonight. We're gonna ask them some questions, get some history out here. I got Officer Mahayar, Officer Iraq, Officer Yaramak, and Officer Thabawan with me
Damn
tonight.
right.
I'm gonna try to chop it up with them, ask them a couple questions, and see how they came into the school. Just to kind of start it off, what is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge? Explain that to us.
Sir.
Iraq, could you start?
Let's get it. The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is the home of the truth.
That's right.
It is the home of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans' identity.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's the home in which we learn how to treat each other and how we interact and do business with one another, how we raise our families and how we treat our wives and husbands, and basically our total existence and obedience to the Most High.
That's right.
Under Christ, under Yahweh Shah Mashiach. We learned that under command and Junior Yohana. The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is the game changer.
That's
You
right.
understand? It's the end all, the be all at this point under Christ.
That's right.
This takes all the filth that we learn in this wicked world, all the selfishness, all the vain gain and vain glory that we aspire to achieve in this horrible, despicable, disgusting planet Earth that we on right now. The things we learn in this world just causes us to predatorize on one another, to be cutthroat with one another, to sell drugs and rape and molest and so forth and so on. The ISUPK is here to thwart that, to shed ourselves up from that, and in short, you know, is home.
That's right.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Most High in Christ, sir. That was a great answer.
That was.
Can anybody add to that?
If I could, if y'all don't
Please.
mind. The Israelite School of UPK started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, 1969. This is the school, obviously, we teach that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Jews and the biblical Israelites. So now, a little bit of what the school is, you know, just adding on to what Iraq said for decades, You understand? For years here in America, the Bible has been in rotation. And every dirty, crooked, disgusting religious leader, pastor, oppressor has had their hand on this Bible and has bastardized it to the point where we have followed and fell into so many different religions, so many ideologies, so many spiritualities that has all had one agenda, which is to destroy Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians.
That's right.
Well, years following after slavery, you had brothers who start, without going too deep into the history, but you have brothers who started studying the Bible, even dating back to Nat Turner, reading the records and finding out that every scripture that the oppressor was using to justify us being in captivity, there were scriptures that was condemning the oppressor for the crimes that was committed against the children of God.
That's right.
And so the Israelite School of UPK, those brothers, Abba Bibbins, the seven heads, they went into the records of the Bible and they found out that what we were being taught in these other religious organizations, the Christian church, what we were being taught by the Muslim mosques, what we were being taught by the Pan-Africans were all wrong, and that the actual medicine that we needed is the one thing that conscious Black people chose to reject, and that is the Bible. And we realized that the problem was not this white man's book, as they would put it. What we realized is that the problem was that we didn't have righteous brothers teaching us the truth of the Bible. And so the Israelite School of UPK, started in 1969, was the beginning of the Bible being taught in its correct form.
That's
and,
right.
and by taught by men who gave solutions, like Officer Isupk said, to fix the condition of Black people. And that goes across the whole board. You want to fix drug addiction, you want to fix child molestation, you want to fix Black households and Black parents leaving their babies and so on and so forth in the Black community. The answer is not in the Christian church. It's not in the Muslim mosque. It's not in some off spirituality or whatever you want to go into. The answer has been right in front of us this whole time. All we needed is for righteous men, righteous brothers to open this book and teach it to us. And that is what the Israelite School of UPK has done since 1969. And it's what it continues to do to this day. That's all.
Woo!
That's it.
That was a good one. That was very good.
Anybody else?
Okay.
I'm good. Hit the nail on the head.
All right. Well, to kind of piggyback off the fact that you were talking about it being medicine and that we actually had to get people out here that were going to teach the actual truth, I wanted to kind of just dive into, what the school means to us individually. I'd like to piggyback off of how it was before this, and we had it before the intermission when Officer AHBARAHAM was up here, because he taught my first class, my very, very, very first class was taught by Officer AHBARAHAM. And he's the reason I'm here right now. He's the reason I'm sitting here. Literally.
Tell him, go and tell him what you wanted to talk about the whole class.
What you wanted to talk about, sis?
I mean, I had so many questions, but the most important question of all was sharing my damn man.
Oh man!
Because I'm gonna tell you, I was super young, and my husband was super young in this. I didn't know he could be with multiple women. He told me to stop smoking and to come to class. So that's what I did. So my first class was in the Vegan Soul Cafe.
Vegan flavor.
In the back. In the back. And Officer AHBARAHAM was I don't even remember what he was teaching, but it wasn't about whatever I was asking. He stopped his lesson and would just answered every single one of my questions for me. Every single one. And I was hooked since then. He the reason I'm sitting here, man.
Most high in Christ, man. Give it up for Officer AHBARAHAM.
So as far as what the school means to me, which is what I want to know tonight, it just means absolute brotherhood and sisterhood. I love y'all and I love it. So Officer Yarmak, can you tell me what the school means to you?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question, because I know the answer, but personally, I think the school to me is definitely a second chance.
Okay.
It's definitely a second chance at life. You understand? Like, growing up in my family, I had a little bit of everything. I definitely had the streets, definitely had, and not to say I grew up in a bad household, because I didn't. I had Iraq. Iraq was a bona fide vegetarian. Rock did not smoke. He did not drink. He did not use slur words. Rock was very spiritual. He didn't even let me eat candy. I remember the first time I got some candy, and it was vegetarian candy. Y'all imagine what that's like. So, but Rock did come from, a background that he came from, and I think that thing it skipped into me. So I definitely had my bad times, growing as I got older. But I also, being an athlete, and so chasing glory in the streets or chasing glory on a football field, of course, that's something that on a high scale I never quite obtained. Like I didn't make it to the NBA, or I didn't make it to be Frank Lucas. It didn't happen. But I think that being in the truth, it gave a second chance at that glory.
Okay.
It gave a second chance of being able to shine. You understand? Like Rock wanted me to. So that's why, there's times Rock, of course, Rock is my father, but there's times, where he talks to me and he says, man, I be watching your camp speakings, and he's just so proud. He's just like, man, I don't know how you do it. You get up there, you blazing, and I look at you and you don't even have scriptures in your hand, and you just be blazing with the scriptures and pulling. And
Why you
that
sound just like him.
Yeah. but that to me replaced the glory I would have had of him being proud of me getting drafted.
Huh.
It replaced that glory. So just all in all, it's just a second chance of being something that he could be proud of. And of course doing the work for my people.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful. I'm gonna skip on down all the way down the table. All the way down to Officer Mahayar. What does the school individually mean to you?
Oh man, I mean, for me, it's definitely redemption.
Shout out Javelin.
You know what I mean? Right.
Season 3, y'all. Season 3.
You know what I mean? Make sure y'all cop that. But for me, yeah, it's definitely redemption. Definitely, like Officer Mike said, a second chance, a purpose. As Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we grow up and most of us grow up in harsh conditions. Never really knowing how to live, but just to survive. Day by day, we just know we just got to make it. We just trying to make it out of this hellhole we live in. Never knowing, never having a moral compass, never having a higher sense of learning.
Huh.
Because our conditions are just so stressful. So, for me, the truth is a safe haven. It's home. It's where it's the most comfortable place I've ever been in my life.
Huh.
So for me, this is it. This is my final destination. It's my everything.
That's right.
For lack of better words. Yeah.
Beautiful. Great answers. All right, I'm a mosey on down. Officer Rock, same question. What does the school mean to you individually?
The school for me is the people in it. The school is Tabawan, the school is Tawa, Sister Tawa, Captain Ayatak, and Officer Abraham, and Officer Lahab, and Officer Aratazad, Officer Mahayar, and all of the people that have taken that step into serving Christ.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this school has brought, I'm naturally the old man, I'm an introvert. I don't really like people. You know what I'm saying? I stay to myself. I don't really like people. But, through the glory of understanding that what we fighting for, and I see what we have to go through as a whole, because, sisters got to accept things that they don't like. You know what I'm saying? What they wouldn't have accepted in the world. Okay. We got to accept things we wouldn't have accepted in the world, but we all battle. We'll say, I'm Tuwa, but yet, we could be facing some things, you know what I'm saying? But we battling demons. We ain't high and holy walking on water. Don't have no issues. We all got issues, but we got each other. And I don't have to worry about this brother going in my drawer, taking bands out my drawer. I don't have to worry about this brother molesting my children. I don't have to worry about any of these sisters out here trying to scheme on me.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying? Like they do in the world. You can't trust people in the world because they don't uphold to the laws in the Bible. They claim the Bible. They say they believe in God all the time, and that's what even brought me to this. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Because Salagi, but the people that claim the one thing that we live, you know what I'm saying? They don't do it.
Right.
And you can't. It's like, well, why? You know what I'm saying? Like why it come to the point where they claiming something. Why they hate us so much is because we making them feel convicted about something that they claim. They got the dusty Bible on the mantle. They got all these scriptures that they post, heavenly hands when people pass away, but yet they the ones sinning. They the ones committing the crimes, the ones that's doing the evil that the Bible speaks on that we shouldn't do, which brought us in the condition of the position of having to be in a slavery anyway. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of anger. So this true, this house, this home, yes, it's the people, and but it's also that Bible. And for the first time in my life, because I would never touch that Bible. I would never touch it ever, because people who claim they couldn't even answer basic questions. I'm like, yo, Adam and Eve were the first people on the planet. They had Cain and Abel. Then Cain left and got married. Who he married? His sister. Isn't incest unlawful? Right. You know what I'm saying? How he married? So where the sister? What's her name? You know what I'm saying? They couldn't answer nothing. Right. So I left it alone. That's how I got up into all that vegan, vegetarian, and Egyptology, and doing the oracles, and I was into anything blackity black, because I didn't have no identity. And the one thing this place gave me was not that you a nigga, just a Negro, a black, Afro-American, an African-American, a colored person, but that you actually an Israelite. That's from the tribe of Judah.
Damn,
you know what I'm saying? This was the only place that actually told me. This place right here told me who I was. You know what I'm saying? You watch Roots, you'll think that we came from Africa and we were scattered, so we don't know where we from. We just know we black. But Africans don't call themselves black. Nobody else call themselves black. All the answers. The only place where we on Front Street all day is ISUPK. Anybody can call in and say, you know what, you're wrong. You're wrong because of this, that, and the third. Anyone can come into this class free of charge and show us where we wrong. Few have tried and they all have failed. Which is what brought me here. You know what I'm saying? Watching Captain Cesariak destroy and dismantle Polite. You know what I'm saying? Watching Officer Abraham dismantle Shirley Caesar, beans, greens, tomatoes, potatoes.
and now I'm fed up. He was tired of her shit.
Gotta see that video.
Hell yeah.
Y'all gotta watch that video.
I was in the room. I was
lucky to be in the room.
Ultimately, keep it short. It's the brotherhood and the sisterhood that I've never experienced anywhere else in my travels on this planet. This is the home of the truth. And I just feel so hurt that people who are not in the truth don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But that's my answer.
Damn right.
Damn right. Let's clap it up for Officer Rock. And last but certainly not least, same question for Officer Thabawan. What does the school mean to you individually?
Where you go?
What is this? I'll be brief. School means to me is just it's just like sincerity. You know what I'm saying? Like in this school, I've met the most sincere Black, Hispanic, and Native American men and women. The most sincere I've ever met in my life. People that would literally die, you know what I'm saying, for this truth. You know what I'm saying? For their people. People who could live easy lives. They could have gone on and, you know what I'm saying, made money and been fine. And no one would have batted an eye. They would have probably had an easier life. But I see them every week. I mean, Officer Abraham, again, a great example. Seeing his brother every week of his life. Every single week. Again, before I even met him. He, sacrificing, you know what I'm saying, the easier life for me. And he didn't know me. I'm some nigga from New York. You know what I'm saying? He from Winston-Salem. From Wilson, North Carolina. Never met me in his life. But he was out there at that Juneteenth festival. He's out there at them camps. He was teaching them classes. He was driving hours down to Durham to teach me and didn't even know me, to save my life. So, you know what I'm saying? This is what we need as a people. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Salaki.
That's it. Sir. Well, that was a good little session of questions there. I know we were just touching on Officer Abraham. He was teaching us class.
Yeah. What? Good night.
Oh,
what? We were just what?
Pause. We were covering the topic.
You said something gay, so you gotta say no.
I say it. It's not gay. I say it. I don't have to say pause. Y'all are insane with that pause.
So like,
That's held on longer than any of y'all's other inside jokes. Anyway, Salakia.
Y'all killing me with this shit.
I know you guys heard about my first experience
what is that?
in class.
That's for me. Let me see that.
Oh, that's dope.
Let me see
I can
that.
see it from over there.
Oh yeah, let me get that.
Yo, come on, bro.
Really? Well, we're gonna let
Yo,
him
forget
deal with
everything I
that.
said. I hate this nigga.
What you mean, son?
Chain breaker. He got to go all the way.
I'm so dead.
It's funny because I did break the chain. Oh, look what got in the building, man. I seen him. He not black like that, but he light skinned.
Who is it? I can't see.
Y'all can't see him?
Uh-uh.
He don't want to be seen by y'all, man.
Oh, okay.
See what be low key. That's a good part.
Okay. Oh, for real?
No, that's my Uncle Donnie, man.
Oh, I'm about
Shout out my Uncle Donnie in the building, man.
Little Uncle Donnie in the building.
Anyway, he stole my introduction for this section. But I want to know about y'all's first class. Just short and sweet. How was your first class and what did it mean to you to make you guys take this walk? What about the class made you say, oh, this is it right here? And I'm going to start this time with Officer Thabawan. If you can answer that for me, please.
I'll be
quick.
quick.
I think I was at your first class, sir.
Probably.
Yeah.
More than likely. My first class.
Yeah, I was at
you
your-
were not. I wasn't there?
I was at
I was running the
Thabawan's first
streets.
class.
Probably. Ripping and running. My first class was towards the end of January 2017. I had gone, the classes at the time were being held at the Vegan Flavor Cafe. I went there to go to the class. The very first person, the first person that I met that was in the school was Officer Isupk. He was standing there, of course, looking menacing as he does. And I'm coming up there, I'm just green, like, I don't know no Hebrew or nothing. So I'm like, how you doing, sir? I'm here to come to class. And he's just looking at me like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just cold with it, but he was like, no sweat, right? So class was supposed to be in Vegan Flavor, but for whatever reason, the class could not be held in the Vegan Flavor that day. So the class had to be held at, what hotel was that?
Residence Inn.
The Residence Inn Hotel, which has like a conference room. So that's where my first class was. And believe it or not, my first class was actually not taught by Officer Abraham, even though he was right there. But my first class was actually taught by Officer Aratazar. And that was the first class I went to. It was held in that room. And one of the things that was said that made me say, I kind of like here, I want to stay with these guys was that one of the questions I asked was about Salaki and Officer Abraham. You know what I'm talking about because you said you seen the purple cats. At the time, I would, like a lot of us, I was an individualite. So I'm on the internet, I'm watching everybody, I'm learning from different people. At the time, in my room, a lot of y'all can attest to this. I thought it was unlawful to cook on the Sabbath day. I thought that turning on a stove on the Sabbath day was a sin. And I said something like, yeah, I know we can't cook on the Sabbath day. And the whole room laughed at me.
Oh.
Like, and they all, and Officer Riders, I said, man, that sounds like them purple cats. Where you get that from? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And I remember Officer Abraham broke it down. And from there, I learned that, I can actually eat hot food on the Sabbath day, that I wasn't committing a sin. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stick this out. Pause. Like I'm gonna keep rocking with them because that was like a game changer for me. Because eating cold cuts every Saturday wasn't working, so that helped a lot. Salaki.
Most High in Christ.
Most High in Christ. Same question. I'm gonna ask Officer Mahayar. First class.
Oh man, my first class.
Didn't you get forced into going to class?
Nah, I can't say forced.
Nah, don't do that. You was coerced.
Dang. Ricky.
Nah, I really can't even say that.
He gonna say no. Listen, we are getting the first piece of that was good.
That was good.
So we gonna move across. We gonna move away from that. All right.
It's a lot.
It's your turn. He doing it though.
Go ahead, bro.
He doing it. Go ahead and do it, bro.
Nah, I wouldn't say coerced like the as y'all know, for those who don't know, my cousin was in the school, years before me. So it's a Shabbat now, right? And so
shout out to
so why you say it like
yeah,
that?
so long story short, I ended up moving to Durham, running from my life or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, we're just living there. Of course, I had a little job. And so, you know, she was just being a good cousin. Of course, I don't know. You know, she's got higher morals, a higher standard of living. You know, I don't know. I don't really know her like that. I I knew when I was younger, but I didn't really grow up with her to know her like as a person. I just know she was the only person that answered in my phone when I needed somewhere to live.
Right.
And so, you know, that's how they coming to Durham.
Damn.
And so, you know, she was like, yeah, you can live here, yada, yada, it is what it is. And, you know, for me at first, it was camp videos. I was watching camp videos. I'm at home.
Where was it that you moved?
I moved to Eva Street.
Ooh.
713 Eva Street.
713
Eva Street.
Eva Street, Durham, North Carolina. Y'all will see that a little bit later. But, yeah, so for me, it was camp videos at first. For, you know, a few weeks, I was just watching camp videos. Captain Mashak, you know, watching DC.
DC
Captain
was
Mashak,
it.
you know what I'm saying? Captain Nighthawk, just watching them brothers.
In the building.
DC in the building.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Camp
Super
videos.
Rock in the building.
Yeah.
Rock in the building. Yeah.
I'm Super Rock. You know what I'm saying? Watching camp videos, of course, still smoking, still a young knucklehead.
I'm glad he said it.
You know what I mean? Still smoking. You know, as soon as I got up there, I'm like, I gotta find somebody that got that gas. So, you know what I mean? I'm up there smoking, watching camp videos, and you know, it was a masculinity for me that just caught my attention.
Okay.
You know, but coming from the ghettos, man, like most of us, like you know, many brothers can attest to, we didn't grow up with our fathers around, so a lot of brothers go into the streets just trying to find some type of masculinity to cleave on to. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to put that suit on to be in that church. You know what I'm saying? Because you like that's just feels soft. It don't feel right. Don't feel like a man in there. So it was just I had never seen brothers speak with such aggression. You know what I mean? Such passion about, you know what I mean? How terrible this place is and how the people in charge are just, you know, pitiful and their children and, you know what I'm saying, they're the devil. I had just never heard, you know, a black man speak in that manner ever. I never seen that type of strength in my life. You know, and it was amazing to me. So the first class I ended up going to was Officer Abraham. As far as what you speak, I believe speaking on my cousin, she gave me an ultimatum. She like, basically, you know, either you can either pay rent or you can go to these classes every Friday. And I was like, well, hell, should I go to class?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to class.
Yeah, man, I'm like, how long to class? She like, class 2 hours. I'm like, well, shit, I can sit in the class for 2 hours.
I just want to make sure we get to the bottom of it.
You know what I mean?
Did that come from your cousin or was that coming from the Lord using someone else?
Now, I will say, she did say to her husband, mind you, you know what I'm saying? Officer Rock was, you know what I'm saying, sidebar, is a very incognito, in the cut brother.
Quick sidebar.
You know, I was just always hearing stories about him, but never seen him. So she was like, yeah, my husband, you know, he said, you know, you pay rent or you come to class. So I'm like, yeah, I go to class, man. So going to the class, my first class was taught by none other than Officer Abraham. You know what I mean? Of course, I know he see me in there high as a kite.
Good night.
So, of course, he pulling them precepts, you know what I'm saying, chopping me to piss on smoking weed and how it's evil and wicked and you're weak and you probably, if you smoke weed, you'll probably blow a rod too.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So, just shaking my poor little spirit. I couldn't even enjoy my high no more. You know, I'm like, I don't even want to do this stuff no more. You know what I mean? But I never forget, you know, he started teaching on slavery. He started teaching on buck breaking and just teaching on how the oppressor, you know, would tie the strong brothers up to a tree and, you know, just take advantage of them in front of the whole family and everybody. And it brought me to tears. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because I never learned that before in my life. Never heard that in school. They never taught us that part. And so I remember that was the day I was like, man, I ain't never smoking again. And it was just, it was on and popping from there. That was
I ain't
it.
smoked since. No fire in Christ. Officer Rock, I know Officer Abraham said you were at the Juneteenth festival as one of like the first introductions you had for the school, but I would love to hear how your first class was. Who taught you? What was the message? What did you take from that class?
Okay, so if I could, let me backtrack. When I was at that festival, I was in the middle of coaching a basketball game in Ghana, which is, I think is about 30 minutes away. And somebody had saw the UPK at the festival. So they had told me, I guess they came to a tournament and they had said, yo, them crazy niggas that you be watching on TV, they was in Durham downtown at the, I'm like, what? And so I had the assistant, I told, like, we had just won our game. And I was like, we probably got about another hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever. But I was like, if I don't come back, just take over. And I grabbed my boys and we left. and we went to Durham. They were like, how we gonna find them? We'll know when we find them.
Hell yeah.
I'm walking like this. I'm like looking. I'm seeing balloons. I'm seeing water ice. I'm seeing.
You was
all
walking
kinds
like
of
that, all angry like that?
Nah, I wasn't angry.
Oh,
I needed to see something.
Focused.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Damn
all
right.
my life, I'm living a lie. You
Yeah.
gotta understand how it feels to think you got it figured out. You know what I'm saying? You in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, whatever. You figure you set in your ways. You figured it out now. You try this, try that. You now set. But this was something that I needed some closure on because the Bible was always my footstool. You know what I'm saying? For white supremacy, putting us in slavery. You know what I'm saying? A fairy tale book they stole from Egypt. All those stories I heard in the black community, I would never look at the Bible. I look at people with Bible. I'm like, ew. Like, what's wrong with you? Like this time of day, you still reading the Bible? Like, you better get up into this alchemy and this cosmologics and understand the zodiac and the stars and understand all these oils and ointments and all these herbs and how this is gonna do for you as a selfish nigga, just for you. Nothing about my people, because I don't consider y'all my people. It's about me. I'm vibrating on a higher frequency. So all this shit y'all got going on with Freddie Gray and all that, that's y'all, because y'all dead and dense in your vibration. That's how I was thinking. Selfish. I didn't care about you. I didn't care about none of these crackheads or dope fiends. I didn't care about nobody. I care about making money and my children. That was it. All this higher knowledge, all these fancy words. I was a polite back then. You understand? So I'm walking like this. I'm looking. Next thing you know, I see a 6'9" Medea, right? And I see Officer Abraham standing on a stool, and he's battling this Medea. He had glasses on, looked like Tyler Scary. And all I heard, Officer Abraham shut him down. He said, Jesus is black, the white man is the devil, and all heathens are going into slavery. Ain't nothing you can do about it. And he was aggressive with it. And that I'm like, yo, this is it. I go up, I see Officer Dawada. I see Officer Howard, I believe it was, and I think Officer Zion was there. And they had this aura about them. And usually, like me, you know, if anybody run across me, I size you up. I size every brother up like, you know, you a threat. Can you take me? You know what I'm saying? And Dawada's like this tall. You know, these brothers, Lahab, all of them like this tall. But when my vibe, like the vibe I got was like, today I can't beat them. It was, they was on post, they was on Shamar. And it was, they had that Frank and Myrrh burning. And I'm looking, and I'm like, I just wanted to be convinced that this ain't the truth. This some bullshit. You understand? So I can go on with my day. Yeah. So I can go on my life and live the way I was living comfortably. Right. So I'm standing there, and it's just like, I believe these dudes could take me. I believe that I could beat me right now, even though that ain't gonna happen in the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But right here, it was a spirit about them. And so I was like, yo, I was looking for what I could do. Like, what can I do? What can I do? They had t-shirts. So I was like taking all of them, large, small, extra large. I took one in my pocket. I'm like, I'll take all of them. I was like, when are y'all coming to Durham? And they was like, brother, you find a place to teach in Durham. It's Abraham voice. We'll come to Durham. I said, I'll find a place tomorrow. And I did.
Most High in Christ.
Yeah. The very next day, I called everybody. And I ended up one of my the people I knew in the community had a vegan restaurant. It's called a Vegan Flavor Cafe, and they had a classroom in the back they weren't using. So I was like, look, I'll pay you this amount, blah blah blah, because she loved money, right? So I came to her with that.
Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, she loved money. So I was hitting her off with bread. I was like, look, we got the spot. This brother. And obviously, Howard, these brothers traveled hours to teach us. My first class, if I could recall, just to keep it a little short, was obviously Howard. If I remember obviously Howard. And shout out to obviously Howard. He is a special brother.
Shout out to Officer Howard.
He is not,
damn right.
He is not a man of many words, but he don't sleep. He wise. He know this truth. He know life. And that's why you don't really hear his name tarnished and smeared like that. He very careful and tactful how he do things. Shout out to Ozzy Howard. He can't say nothing about Officer Rock without saying Ozzy Howard, Officer Abraham, Officer Lahab. Them brothers, by not even saying nothing to me, just by me watching them, I learned. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, they better than me. I don't ever say that, but those men were better than me. You understand? And I had to accept that. And then I had to get down. You know what I'm saying? I was either gonna get down or lay down, as we heard. You know what I'm saying? And so the first class, Officer Howard, whatever the topic was, I don't recall, but all I know is everybody came to the school. Like it was like wow, I invited everybody from the conscious community, everybody in the street, me and my children outside at Target passing out. I use my daughters, right? Because they're so beautiful, right?
Gorgeous.
So they see me. They don't want to give me a flower. They see my dude. Hey, it's lucky class. And so they'll sit and talk. You know what I'm saying? Because the children, they coming up. They're like, oh, for the kids. Okay, for the kids, let me get a flyer. And from there, we started something, you know. And again, as you heard, what Officer Abraham had, the groundwork was done before I even knew about this truth. You know what I'm saying? These brothers. Officer Abraham is a beast. Y'all got to understand. I have so much respect for him. This brother will get in his car and drive and teach and help a brother. And all of that, you know, on the Captain Thoc's tutelage, you know, because anybody's met Captain Thoc, very rigid, very distant, on purpose. You understand? You know what I'm saying? But it's because of what we face out here. I got you. What we face, what we're going to face, and these brothers are built for it. Built for it. So Salaki for being long-winded, but that's my first class was actually probably going to the Juneteenth and just listening to Officer Abraham and seeing them brothers. But it changed my life. It sparked something in me. And again, I just want to say one last thing. I was against the UPK in the beginning. I just wanted to find the one thing where these niggas ain't shit. That's what I wanted to find out, just so I can be free. But I got bound. You know what I mean? Can't celebrate birthday. I look back at my daughters like, damn. Because that's the one time dad is somebody, you know, on their birthday. You got twin girls. Hey, pick what you want. You want Frozen? You want Tangled? You want Brave? You want Princess and the Frog? You know, but that, you know, everybody got their thing, their issue with coming in the truth. That was one of mine, you know, but that was one time I spent my children. That was it. Salaki.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, I mean, we gotta say thank you again to Officer Abraham, Officer Lahab, Officer Howard, Captain Thoc, because again, if we didn't have them, we would not have Officer Rock. Officer Rock does a lot for us. He does a lot of stuff behind the scenes, a lot of stuff we don't even talk about, stuff y'all don't even know about. So again, we have to thank those mighty men for giving us our camp leader. Most high in Christ for him. It trickles all the way down. That's how you know we're in here. This is where we're supposed to be. Because I would never imagine us being able to do without Officer Rock. So to move on, Yarmak, your first class, how was it?
My first class, I think it was the same class with Officer Howard.
Okay.
And yeah, he was teaching like. Rock had brought all these, you know, the conscious, everybody was there, and they was asking like questions like, you know, but the counselor not see him, and when we had the counselor not see him, and 13 times 18 was 39. And Howard's answer to that question was hey, that's a good question, but look, Christ is a black man, and the white man is the devil. Damn right. So, next question. And so yeah, I was in that class though, man. But I was more or less, you know, I was on weed, man. I wasn't convinced. I wasn't not convinced that it was the truth, but I had a different battle. My battle was like he was fighting them and I was fighting him, right?
Like, go on. I don't want to cut you off. But could you please, when you end this, can you tell the story? Can you tell the story of the broken convoy?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay,
yeah. So my battle was against him, and it wasn't like I had like a a disdain for him, I rock or anything like that. But it was, I'm a young man at this point. Like I'm young, 18, 19, something like that. So I'm trying to find my own way in my whole life.
Salakia, I don't mean to cut you off. Did you have them dreads?
Yeah, I had them dreads
that you posted on Facebook.
Yeah.
Real quick, like brief. Was it easy? Like, was it like, I don't give a damn, or was it kind of like?
I remember the day that I cut the dreads off, man, and I try to stay on top of this, being quick.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to class. I had the dreads, and the brothers was telling me like, "Yo, you want to be in the school? You got to cut the dreads off." And the reason why I had my dreads was for a long time. It wasn't for no spiritual reason. I didn't have that kind of attachment, but it was because I always was insecure about my hair. Right, my hair was always messed up, but I was able to hide it with the dreads because. Just get matted up and I put it under my football helmet and I just rock out. But I remember the day I was on Fayetteville Street and I was talking to Officer Rock and he was just like, man, you a soldier, man. You got to be a soldier for the Most High. And to be a soldier for the Most High, you got to cut your dreads off. And of course, I made the decision then and I was like, send me the money for a haircut. So I remember he sent me the money, and it's funny. The same day I went to go cut the dreads off, Kendall Hinton. Kendall Hinton was a good friend of mine. He's in the Hall of Fame for the Broncos now. But he was in the chair getting his hair cut at the same time. So it was a moment because when I cut the dreads off, after I was done, I was happy. And I remember calling. I was like, yo, I'm coming to class tonight. Damn right. So I came to class. But no, nonetheless, so I went to Yahweh's class. And my whole life, Officer Rock had always been into the spirituality. He was in the All-Set Society. He was always teaching, always learning. So at some point, I'm just like, I'm kind of rejecting it in a way because I'm like, I'm an adult now. I don't gotta say hetapu no more just because you tell me to.
Say what?
Hetapu. I don't gotta do ma'at or harakahudi or I don't gotta do nothing no more. Just because you tell me to do it no more. Now I'm a grown man. So now I kind of got that thing that's blocking me from hearing the truth because I'm kind of looking at him. So that wasn't the thing that really convinced me. The day that convinced me was when I was coming back from Virginia. I had a visit to a college in Virginia that my
college visit.
Yeah.
For athletes.
Tour.
I had a college visit. I was supposed to stay in Virginia in a hotel for the night, but Rock was telling me that there was a situation that happened in Charlotte where a brother had got unjustly killed by the police. I believe his name was it Freddie Gray or who was a brother? It was one of those
in Charlotte.
It was in Charlotte, and Commandant General Yohana came down. Was it Castile? No, it wasn't Castile. I forget the brother's name, but it was a famous brother to the point where Charlotte had to enact martial law, I think. Like they definitely had a curfew. They had the military, the U.S. military had to come to Charlotte, and Commander General Yohana, he brought the Israelite School of UPK to Charlotte to hold camp in front of the coin down uptown Charlotte. And so I remember I'm driving from Virginia all the way down. I'm stopping at stores. I'm like, where you at? Get here. You need to get here, man. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, I'm on the way, man. I'm coming. Damn. I'm on the way. So I'm like, man, drive a little faster. Telling her to drive. So we ended up pulling up. And if you ever been to the camp, right in front of the corn is like the street, right? And when they end the trial, right? Trading trial, right? Yeah. So they breaking down the camp. They got the trucks out. They putting all the equipment out, and the brothers are kind of just standing out there. And the last speaker is giving like the last words. And so I pull up and I see him, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? And so I'm like, okay. That did something for me. And then eventually we had they had gotten to the cars and started to drive off, right? And when they pulled off, I pulled right behind this red Expedition. And I'm driving behind the red Expedition. And the next thing you know,
Salakia, I hate to cut you off. If we can get everyone to quiet down just a little bit.
This is a little bit.
We're happy y'all here, but y'all can quiet down just a little bit in the crowd. I really appreciate it, the water. Salakia, sir.
So I'm riding behind this truck, and next thing you know, I start getting calls from my rock, So I answer the phone. He's like, yo, you gotta move. And I'm like, for what? He's like, because you riding behind Commander General Yohana. And at the same time, he says that this white van pulls up. And Captain Tazariak is in the passenger seat with the beard and braid. This is braided Tazariak. The original braided Tazariak. And when I'm telling you, he looked at me and he gave me the look of death. And I looked at him. Like, what the fuck this nigga think he doing? Like, I'm thinking, who is he? Like, he a killer, I'm a killer. What the hell is this? So I'm like, yo, get out this way before I gotta do something. So they go into this convoy, and I'm like, these niggas think they militant or something. They go into this convoy, and I remember they went to this hotel that was right beside this Wendy's. And I get out the car, and I'm just like, man, what the hell is this? For the first time, for me, it wasn't the breakdowns. And I think that that's kind of the story of me a little bit. It was never the breakdown. But when I seen them brothers circle up, and I was listening, I was hearing how they were saying, Akim, we're doing this for the brothers. You understand? This brother lost his life, but this brother ain't going to be the only brother to lose his life. All of our brothers and sisters is going to lose their life to the devil, to the white man in Charlotte. And it's our job. And I'm hearing this, and I'm just like, it's our job. And then they broke it down, and they, Kwam Yashala, who's the power? AHBARAHAM, how was Shah's the power? Who do we fear? Oh, so on and so forth. And I remember that same day, I went to Iraq, and I was like, how do you say it again? Like, Shalom, AHBARAHAM, I was Shah Barakatah. And I went and I wrote it in my phone the way that it sounded. It wasn't spelled nowhere near how it's supposed to be spelled. But I just wrote it in my phone, and that was partially the thing that convinced me. It was that strength that I seen, and the way they use their strength to go out there and battle. So that was it for me, man. But you know, shout out to Officer
Most High in
Howard.
Christ. It's always good to hear y'all's perspectives, especially as priests and prophets. It's nice to hear what the school means to you, how your first class was. But I want to dive into the topic of the conversation for tonight, which is the genesis of the Durham School. I want to dive a little bit deeper into that. I want to hear some stories and some background on this building.
We got stories.
Oh, I got some stories too. I was over here shoveling
Yeah.
gravel in this motherfucker. God damn it. But I would love to hear from y'all. How did we get this building? What were some of the hardships of getting the building? Some of the triumphs, some of your first memories.
We got to go back further than that.
We got to go back further than that.
The building is the end of the equation. This is when brothers have made it, when the bonds were built. I remember Mahayar was outside jumping like leapfrog. He said, we finally got to school. What did he say? This is the motherfucking Israelites. Yeah, that was the
from practical knowledge.
We were looking at
so
this.
we gotta go from the beginning.
Man, we gotta go to the beginning, man.
Are we talking Eva Street?
We
talking NCCU?
Oh man, we talking vegan flavor, man.
We gonna go all the way back. I feel like we touched on the vegan.
We touched on the pause.
So we pause. We did touch on the vegan flavor. You know what I'm saying? But I have, if I just could, like, you know what I'm saying, like, the transition pause from vegan flavor, right? It was funny.
I think you said transition.
What's the transition?
That's a pause. So like, what the
How's
hell?
that a pause?
Transition?
Transition?
Thank you, Marco.
Oh, from transitioning.
Damn, y'all gotta keep up. Like, come on. So the transition pause from vegan flavor, we did not go straight from vegan flavor to Eva Street.
Right.
It was not. That's not. And again, I'm. So if y'all don't know, again, I'm a little bit late to the party. These three brothers were, you feel me, involved with the school and doing their thing in the school, and at the very least, at least 8 to 9 months before I came to my first class. So I gotta say that, like, these, you know what I'm saying, like
I met Mahayar first.
Yeah, these was my big bros, all three of them. You know what I'm saying, even though it's not an age thing, but they was my big bros coming in.
Well,
I guess I met Iraq first.
Con.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm saying as far as who I met first. It was you.
Y'all don't even know how I met Mahayar. I don't know if we could go into that.
I know. Oh my, yo.
Yeah. Who knew that?
Oh yeah.
Yo, it's a good thing you don't got a mic.
Sidebar. You know that good gas I was talking about. I got.
You might as well now. He done already spoiled it. You might as well. Just go ahead and tell him. It's the CVP, Mario. Just tell him.
I ain't gonna tell her how he tell it. He tell it with a little twist.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean when I first came up here, you know, I of course didn't leave the streets. You know, the streets are wherever you go. You know, so once you start talking to people around you, you know, come to find out, you know, whoop de whoop, you know, I'm around this, I'm in the same world in a matter of seconds. I'll just put it that way. You know what I mean, for lack of better words. So, you know, finding out, you know, I need that good stuff. So end up getting plugged in with this dude. he pull up. This nigga pull up, you know, with the Mustang, loud ass Mustang. He stayed revving that damn Mustang. Loud Mustang, come up to the house, dreadhead nigga, making that same rock face. I don't know what's wrong with him. I'm just like, man, why do you looking like that? This always look like that. Mind you, I look about stoic my damn self. I barely smile too, but they mug just look different. You know what I mean? But I'm like, man, meet the brother. You know, he barely talk. You know what I mean? Copped a little something from him. You know, I was always the type. I just want to supply my habit. I'm just like, you know, I buy enough to sell a little bit and really just to smoke. You know what I mean? But yeah, did that for a little bit. I'm just like, man, this dude.
Mahayar went right. Like Mahayar's name mean diligent. I hate to spoil it, but I remember handing him the joint, and this nigga started running. Like he ran. Oh my god! he was like ran to the next house. I was like, this nigga's about his business.
I mean, this shit do mean diligent. So
right down Evil Street, man. That was the beginning of being Mahayar, man. But that was the beginning. I'm telling you, of a lot of adventures.
It's a lot. Eva Street,
yeah.
But first, okay, so we'll get to Eva.
Mm-hmm.
We got somewhere, but I don't want. So vegan flavor, right? Because I was going to ask you that question, but you answered it. You know what I'm saying? You had, you knew the people that own vegan flavor, correct, sir?
That's
so
correct.
and since I'm not
That's
taking
correct.
your job, but I'm trying to blend it in.
Oh, that's okay.
So like,
Come on, sir.
I because again, this again, like I said, that little 8-9 month gap before I came in, I have questions about that too. So you knew them or whatever, and of course, now again, we ain't gonna get into that. We know that there was a situation that caused us to lose the ability to use the classroom at the back of the vegan flavor. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct.
So now, Central, you of course attended North Carolina Central University.
Correct.
Eagle Pride.
Eagle Pride.
Nah, y'all ain't do it. Y'all fake Eagles.
I went to Central.
You supposed to say?
Yes,
I didn't.
No.
What?
That's not how they say
I
it.
didn't know that.
It's
They don't do
Eagle
that.
Pride. It's Eagle
You
Pride.
supposed to say
Eagle Pride.
amplified. Nobody said amplified though.
I was trying.
No. See,
They drag it out. They be like ego. Yeah, but they be like ego pride.
Amplified.
And I rock just be like this.
yo, that's crazy. See, I'm saying you learned something. I did not know that.
Yes, I went to Central.
I did not know that. Out of one,
I went to Central too.
you ended up
Them Jesus
locking
steps.
down because we talk about Officer
Abraham again. The sister mentioned it when I don't want her said, "Now I'm fed up." Now I'm fed up.
You know when he get into it, he start banging the table all hard and shit.
That class was so legendary. And just to give y'all a snapshot, I'm gonna be brief. I'm gonna ask the question out of one. But back then, see now y'all get free UPK classes on every channel. You can watch Durham, Fayetteville, Eastern Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Charlotte, all at the same time. Back then, we didn't have that.
Hell no.
We went to class. We had to physically go to class because there was no online North Carolina class. So we had to physically go there.
Every night.
To the point, if you ever see this video that we're talking about, Officer Rock was filming this on the sneak tip, like on the low, because he thought
he was filming.
He thought he wasn't allowed to film it. So he was like sneaking, getting footage. You know what I'm saying? Of this battle between Officer Abraham and his sister at Central. But my question out of one is, how did you lock down? Like, how did that process go? I know you had to be thinking the same way you thought about
when they said, you find us a place to teach and we'll be there. And you said, I'll have a place tomorrow. When you found out we couldn't do vegan flavor, how did you quickly transition to get the classroom at Central?
Okay, General Hazayan said, like during this last Passover when we lost the original venue, you know, we have to pivot. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm used to and accustomed to disappointment. You know what I'm saying? Things not going my way yet. It's just an opportunity for me to find another way to knock down that door. So being that I was a student at North Carolina Central, I remember, you know, I was online with A5A or whatever and got kicked off the line when they started plucking chest hairs. And I ended up starting a brawl and beating them up. So I started my own organization. You understand? Called the Warriors.
It was the Warriors.
While we did that, we had an opportunity to rent out the student union, right?
Oh, okay.
And we was having classes Tuesday, Thursday.
Oh, so like you had to rent it out?
Because we started an organization, we were able to utilize the facility. You know, that tuition we pay all them high prices. So we found out we could use the facilities after class hours. You know what I'm saying? So I remembered that, and I was like, you know, I just need a contact. You know what I'm saying? So when the situation happened with the shorty at the vegan flavor, the next morning I'm calling because I'm like, the show can't stop. You know what I'm saying? Even if we lost this building, we gonna have a building. We gonna have a place. You know what I'm saying? We can't
going
stop.
somewhere.
So I basically paid. You know what I'm saying? I said, look, I need this. We need a classroom for this amount of people on this day, and I would pay, and then I would get a lady a little something on the side for allowing that to happen. And so we were able to do that. We would then utilize the Hayti Heritage Center.
How could we forget about that?
When we had our feast days, there was no Charlotte, there was no Fayetteville. So everyone had to come to Durham.
Everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
We were deep.
So we used the Hayti Heritage Center for the feast days and the high holy days and things like that. And then eventually we were able to, should I transition into it?
Cancer.
We transitioned into utilizing a place that we had called at 713 Eva Street. And from there we took off from there. 713 Eva Street. There's a lot of stories with that. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that.
Of course.
So like, I'd like to touch on Eva Street. If we could do it quickly. Everybody just go around. I'm gonna start first. I remember one feast where it was so many of us. Some people had to be outside on the mother effing patio.
Damn right.
That's how many people were filled in that motherfucking like we were like wall to wall on the hallway, and sisters were like passing plates, and the plates were just going down the line of the hallway. Nobody fussing, nobody cussing each other out. It's the water, it's Salakia. It was just all love, and we were cramped. Like, you know how it gets when a whole bunch of niggas are cramped up. And we just standing up eating this cold food. It was glorious. And I think it might have been raining outside or something.
Damn.
I don't know, but we were packed in there. The classroom where we were sitting was packed. The back was packed. I think people were even on that deck back there. It was so many. I don't remember what feast it was, but I just remember some fond memories at the Eva School. I think we had a garden one time. We all came out there. Officer Sadak was frying fish, something. A Halawathar Boff was out there. Shout out to them. Rathazal was our teacher at that time. Shout out to Fayetteville. Fayetteville is in the building tonight. Shout out to Fayetteville. But I would just like to attest to the fact that, of course, I remember Central. Of course, I remember Vegan Soul. But it really started for me at Eva Street. That's where I got my name, Thawal, which means dainty. That's where I saw Yarmak and Mahayar get their name. It's just glorious. Eva Street to me.
Nah,
sis. Isn't that where you got your name? What's that picture of you and Mahayar?
Story, man.
Yeah. my height.
Oh,
Yeah, I got
raised.
yeah, I got raised.
That's
Listen,
what. Well, it was
been in
close.
here.
So Saki.
Me and my
It's a
y'all,
lot
we got
like-
our name at the Vegan Flavor
Oh,
Cafe.
y'all did? So y'all must have got raised up at Eva Street then.
Yeah, we got raised up at. I've
Okay.
been raised up at Eva Street. I was raised up at Hebrew Academy, and I was raised up reluctantly by Captain Nythok over the computer.
I mean, but you catch the drift. A lot of stuff happened at that.
I,
the
like
house.
you, did get my name at
Dabawan never got his name.
There we go.
I
Somebody
did
was
get
getting
my
that
name
motherfucking
at
name.
Eva
Who let this
Street.
nigga in here?
Dabawan, listen, Dabawan has never gotten a name.
Well, we gonna send it over the top of it.
What General Muhammad say?
It was not on
Not recorded.
recorded.
It didn't happen.
All these dudes got footage of their names. When they got their names for some odd reason, and I can tell you everybody that was in that room. But Salakia, but for some reason there's no footage of me getting my Hebrew name.
Dang.
So I guess I came up with Tabawan. I made that name up myself
Yeah, more than likely.
and gave it to myself. You know what I'm saying?
You had to, man. Dabawan didn't get his name for 2 years, man.
So, like, what does Stabawan mean?
Tabawan means understanding.
Okay. Most High in Christ.
And he had to be
How about a
understanding.
hand clap for that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a record. It's not a record. But Dabawan had to be understanding, man. In the Israelite School of UPK, we got a 90-day rule. You come to class for 90 days, then you able to be a trooper in the school. You in the
Time.
school.
Yup.
I remember Dabawan was coming to class and we went to the Passover. And we used to salute him as young man, what his name was. And he would be like, man, just hang on, brother. Me and my Hayar doing I had a Shamar gig. My Hayar had his detail. Rock had his.
I was on that lamb, boy, suffering.
Yeah, he was on the lamb. Yeah, I had the Shamar.
Jeez.
I had the Shamar. My first detail was for that cover. That's the original one, or that's a new one?
Refurbished.
It's a refurbished one. Well, for that generation, my first Shamar detail was to protect those covers by any means necessary. No one was allowed in that room because their covers was in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember
That was the Bronx.
yeah, that was the Bronx.
Just a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Just a loop.
And Dabawan was there.
Co-op City.
We would be like, Shalom, brother, whatever his name was. And then we went to a whole nother Passover
In Yonkers.
in Yonkers. With
Hold on,
the
you can't skip, man. You gotta talk about that Hummer trip, man.
how we skip?
We got time for the Hummer trip?
Wait, what Hummer trip? Oh, y'all talking about when y'all thought I was about to drive.
Why you ain't drive?
Y'all got me effed up.
Oh, to New York?
Yeah. I
Oh, yeah,
said,
you don't want your out to drive any damn way.
I'll take the first leg. I'll take the first leg. I drove for 10 minutes. Oh, man, I'm doing it on purpose too. Right. Oh man, come on! You want to jump in?
Come on.
Come on, what you want to say? Yeah, I'm doing it on purpose. I'm falling asleep. Then they like, you need somebody to take over. I'm like,
This nigga, man. This nigga.
oh,
I'm knocking down stuff trying to get over here.
Rewind, not even somebody.
Hey, look. I had to bust in.
Pause.
So pause. I had to jump in, man.
Pause.
Another pause.
No, that kind of.
Look,
Come on, jump in. It's not a pause.
I mean,
It's a transition spot.
unless it's a Disney movie.
we are
Hey, that's my shit.
we under Captain Nythok. You have to be bred to travel the road. You have to be conditioned to withstand the road. I probably done unalived everybody in this school at least 3 times trying to drive, right?
Yeah.
So this cat here, the young bull, we driving to the what was it, the Passover?
Yeah, come on.
The Passover. We taking what, 4 van fools?
I think it was, yeah.
It was a lot of people. And first of all, Shabbat when I was in the Hummer,
Mm-hmm.
and the brothers, the men, was supposed to take the helm and guide us into the Passover safely. This cat, bless his heart, Love this brother. I die for this brother. This brother we card up, ready to roll out. We roll out. We're not even out of the area yet. 10 minutes. Now, look, anybody know Officer Abraham, you know that I'm good for maybe an hour on the road before you got to switch me out. Pause. And
that was good.
Well, you got to, whatever, trade places and get me out of the pause.
Look now, hold on now.
Pause. The trade places pause too.
Trade places is a pause.
It depends on the context.
Y'all taking it too far, bro.
Pause.
Trade
After an hour.
You translate.
After an hour, someone else got to drive the car.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. English. So someone else has to drive. I'm not very good. Everybody knows this. Yeah. Abraham is probably going to be in the passenger seat before too long because I will unalive everyone. Salaki.
We understand.
You will be listening to rumble strips. Your music will be. That's your music. If Abraham is at the wheel for too long. But this guy took the record. I thought I held the record.
Yeah,
this cat held the record. 10 minutes into the trip, I get a call. We get a call. We like, we got to pull over, sir. Yermak Yermak said he had enough. He done. He done. He done. We was like, after 10 minutes, we ain't even been on the road. We ain't even out of Durham area yet. This nigga on the road for 10 minutes and got a. Guess who drove us all the way into New York?
Shabakwana.
Huh?
Shabakwana.
Shabakwana.
Shout out to Shabakwana.
Shout out to Sister Shabakwana.
Hey, look, that's a
all right.
She gonna drive. She gonna drive.
Look, she drove all the way. Shocked the hell out of me. Hey. I bet she came through for you.
Hey, that's what happens when you're a boss.
Hey.
Oh yeah, that's the boss move.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, you talking about?
Didn't y'all learn your lesson from that trip? Because then next time, didn't y'all get the bus? Nah. Didn't y'all hire the bus driver, man, to take y'all? The bus driver.
Huh?
That was better, right?
That was better.
No, hell no, that wasn't better.
Oh, he drove around. Look, he drove around Raleigh for 2 hours.
Man, yo, that bus was dumb.
Hey, look, Mike and I came up and said, "Hey, Salakia, sir, but this ain't the right way." saying, I'm a truck driver, sir. Like we've been riding around Raleigh for 2 hours.
No, what made it bad?
Sabotage.
What made it bad is that we left Vegan Flavor parking lot. We drove, and I remember seeing Sherwin-Williams because that's where I worked at. No, it was cool at first.
Yeah,
it was cool at first, but then people like kind of. It was early in the morning, so people fell asleep. They go, "We're gonna wake up and be in maybe DC or something close to New York." I remember waking up like an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, and passing our cars in the Vegan Flavor parking lot. I was like, I know we ain't still in goddamn Durham.
Still in Durham.
I know we ain't still in Durham. That's what happened. Yeah,
and you can look. I know it was a sabotage.
That was sabotage.
For real. This man knew we was in the truth and knew that we was Hebrew Israelites, and how dare you say the white man is the devil in front of me.
And then he had the nerve to try to debate. I hated it because I was in the back and I ain't had no rank. I couldn't say nothing. But I just wanted to be like, nigga, you can't even drive straight trying to debate about God. You need to learn directions. I had to use a GPS.
Right.
Talking about Jesus. You should have let Jesus take the wheel instead of your dumbass. But that was stupid. But whatever. He made us miss our muster up.
We
never got to muster.
We got to New York in barely enough time to change our clothes and go to the Passover.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't say too much, but I got there late too to that Passover.
It's like if I could, we all
to that Passover too.
We all left on time though. You got an excuse.
Like 1 o'clock. Well, y'all left.
Yeah, you was in there. It was okay.
I got some orders.
But
We left before them.
We left.
No,
in
because I
plenty
dropped
of
off the van.
time.
Remember, you had me go get the vans that year. I didn't drop them off.
No, I'm saying yeah, but on the flip side, we left. They was still stuck in Durham for hours.
Oh, so I could because I
And
had
we-
Zeke.
We
I
still got
That
there
was-
like around the
damn.
same time
Oh,
as
we
him.
taking it
that
back.
year.
Right.
Ooh, that was taking it
Right.
back.
She had the dog sit for me.
What
What
a
a time.
time.
What a time. What a time.
Baby Z.
Hey,
But hey, no Brian Christ. Abraham had to expound on me that pause. That was crazy.
that's
Pause.
crazy.
No, that was wild.
We
You
gotta,
said
we
something
gotta
gay,
keep
so
moving
you
though.
We do got to keep rolling.
So, Lockie, I
It's-
do want to ask at least one question for each of y'all before we get out of
What's
here.
the question? Let's get it.
So, I think I'm gonna start with Yarmok.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna start with Yarmok, Mr. CBP himself.
I didn't
Huh?
do it.
One of.
I'm about to say, what in the world?
I was gonna give you your
How
own
you
special.
become
I was gonna
Mr.
give you-
CBP?
Look, I was gonna give you your own spin, your own spiel. You gotta just let me do my thing.
Salakis, no sweat.
One of Misters. Is that okay?
Con.
I don't think she know about the origin.
I do remember.
No, we could definitely do that because it's definitely started with Thaba Weezy.
Definitely, I remember watching you when it was you.
Okay.
But
He's like, hold on,
But-
sis.
Yeah, I know what we was talking about. And I was like, I was like, hell no, I ain't gonna be doing a radio show.
But- but Cross the Line was also
It
headed by
wasn't called
Copper's too at
Chamber.
one point.
At first, though, I thought.
If I could, sis, I was.
Oh, please let me know.
Chain Breakers podcast exists because I was given an order
Oh,
to
most of-
create a new podcast,
Okay.
and
See, no one know. I don't know if anybody knows that.
another name was theorized or put forward. Some chains, breaking chains,
Okay.
and I said and matter of fact, Overside Rock was the person I asked. I said, I think Chain Breakers sounds better because it sounds like we robbing niggas.
Okay.
Like it sounds like kind of
Contract.
aggressive.
So you-
But not like we robbing niggas. But you
Well,
get what
yeah,
I'm saying?
no. We definitely.
But
I get
you know what I mean?
mean,
And
the
he
vibe
was like,
behind
he's
it.
like, that sounds better. And so I went with that. You know what I'm saying? And that was that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just say the Javelin himself then. So like,
God.
I like that.
if that'll work.
Yeah.
Mr. CBP.
Good job, Lord.
Yarmok, you've definitely built a reputation for yourself in the school.
Mm.
Some say you're a hothead. You know?
Who says that?
Some say you're a natural born leader.
Hell no.
Oh, you a liar. You told me that. When?
I've heard that.
I'm joking.
I've heard that. And a lot of people, this for everybody, this one, because this is what people thinking in their head. A lot of people say you're a ladies' man and you have a type.
I am a ladies' man. No, I don't have a type.
No, I'm asking. No.
Why you gotta get him started?
right there.
Why you gotta get him started?
I do not have a type.
Who would that lie?
Hold up. I heard the peanut gallery. What?
Say what again? Come on, man. This is CBP. I thought this was the CBP.
Hold on. Is the Unchained talking?
The Unchained is
What does the
talking.
Unchained have to say?
That
Listen, I do not have a type. We already went over this. Let's go on. Let's move forward.
Over
again.
What is the truth?
My client is innocent. The water, next question. The water, brother.
What is
And
the
ain't
truth?
nobody gonna debate Tabawan.
Why not?
Who gonna do it?
Why not? Why we can't debate?
Take your pick. Donnie is not eligible. Donnie got to don't pick him.
Nobody.
Anybody
would debate,
else?
Nobody would debate top one.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Next.
Well, I'll just.
Oh yeah, let's choose him.
Man. But all jokes aside, so
Come, sis. So like,
what is the actual factual truth about Yarmok?
whoa. What is the real Yarmok?
Where's
Yes.
the violins?
Man, that
Yeah, I hit him.
I'm gonna answer the question in the most Yarmok way that I can answer it. I'm gonna be
Okay,
honest.
I'm ready for you.
Yarmok is an adjective?
A few
Yarmok
moments later.
Yarmok is that was a little too early. Yarmok is whatever the fuck you think he is. Whatever you want it to be, whatever you think. whatever you believe, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna do my job. I do it well. I have fun. I bring people together as much as I think I do. I think that I like to attest that I feel like I grade high in brotherhood, and some people like it, some people don't. But that's just me, and I think that it wouldn't be me to try to give some kind of sustained answer of what I think that I am. I think I'm whatever you think I am. I'm cool with it. We're just gonna rock and roll. Whoever rocking with me, I rock with y'all.
This tirade against my client needs to end.
Hey, I've been hearing it my whole life. Y'all know that y'all Mark has
been nothing but an upstanding citizen.
I know y'all sisters hate me. I know it.
At some point, I know that has to stop.
Well, Salakia,
brother, sister, brother be like, I'm going out. They be like, you going out with your Mark again?
Well, shit.
I know what happens. It's okay though, man.
First of all, I would just like to attest from personal experience. It is wise to ask who your husband's going out with and if that person's your Mark. Because you need to stay up. You need to make sure your phone is on sound. You need to make sure you got some tow money. You need to make sure you got some bail money. You gotta be prepared.
I can't think. That was really funny.
Am I lying?
I knew I made a great choice. I knew.
The unchanged.
Hey.
So Salakia.
Wait.
That's because AHBARAHAM made it.
But yes, I'm asking, is y'all my
let me make it clear though. I've never been arrested going out in the truth.
Look, I'm just saying.
It's never happened.
It is a wise question to ask your Ottawa if Yarmark is with you. I'm just saying. That's the truth.
Hey, look.
But moving on.
Keep asking. Hey, before we move on, I'm gonna be there in your nightmares. When you go to sleep at night, I'm gonna be there. You gonna go downstairs, you gonna be like, who the hell is in my house? I'm gonna turn around like Michael Jackson.
I did have a quick question on that topic, talking about Yarmark and so on. But you called him Mr. CBP, which is absolutely insane.
Like that.
What?
And crazy.
We're not going for that.
It's totally fine. But
Mr. CBP.
I wrote a question. I wrote, you're known for being Mr. Brotherhood.
Okay.
That's how I view this, brother. Mm-hmm. You're known for being Mr. Brotherhood. My question is, how do you believe that your particular method of brotherhood helped shape Isupk Durham in the early stages?
Damn.
Ooh, good question.
See, that's what no one wants to talk about.
That was a good question.
Going out with Yarmark. Y'all don't know that. You going out with Yarmark might have brought a nigga in the truth.
Oh man, that's a difficult question to really. I don't want to take no. Oh man, I think that when it came to North Carolina, I think that the work was solidified. The breakdowns, it was there. The protocols, all the knowledge aspect was there. As far as from my perspective, I think the part about the enjoyment of now finding brothers in the truth, I think that was something that I had battled with, because of course I still had, coming to the Vegan Flavor Cafe, I had my cousin Willie, I had my brother Drees, I had my niggas in the world who were still coming. Now they fell off from the truth. They decided to walk another road, but yet I was still on this one. So it was just another battle for me. And I think that's a lot of things that even the sisters, y'all see the Mahayar getting taken out to the club 3 o'clock in the morning, but there was a battle for me for a long time where it was, I'm getting ridiculed for choosing this thing. And in choosing this thing, I'm losing them. I'm going to lose being able to do the things that I was doing in the world with the people who I was doing it with. And I knew that I could build something better than going to the club with them niggas.
That's right.
I knew I could. And I knew that by finding Mahayar, finding Tabawan, and finding brothers, that's why y'all hear me all the time, like, man, let's rock our covers. Why? Because I know we're gonna go in there and someone's gonna look and they're gonna see me, and I'm gonna look at them and I'm gonna say, fuck with me. Look at my niggas. Look at us, we strong. And none of these niggas smoke weed. None of these niggas sell drugs. None of these brothers gang bang. None of these brothers do any of those things. And yet we still in here having a good time, because they thought that being in here, I was going to turn into some kind of hermit that was like a super Bible thumper who didn't have fun. Nah, I still get women. Me and my niggas still go to the club, and we the flyest niggas in the whole motherfucking planet. And we're gonna continue to do it. And we're gonna do it in front of their face. So that was me. That's how I feel, you know,
Well,
what we
just
molded.
to piggyback off of that, you're one of the first people I met in here.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have a reputation, everything like that, but just as from a sister's perspective, I see the brotherhood you show everybody. You're very, very brotherly to me. You were brotherly to me from the very beginning. I know I'm safe around you, and I know you're gonna take care of me and my husband.
That's right.
Regardless if y'all are in the club or not. I know he's safe.
Yeah, it don't matter where we at.
So I just want to say Thawada for, you know, your contribution to everything. I mean, you're in everybody, you know, you're in everybody's conversations. Everybody, you're a topic of conversation. But from what I can see, it's a good thing. So Thawada, sir.
Thawada for that, sis.
Not too much now. Be cool.
Officer Rob, I have a question for you, sir. What is your spiritual background that is leading you up to joining the ISUPK? I know you were kind of touching on it before, but I wanted you to kind of dive a little bit deeper into what your spiritual background was leading you in here.
My spiritual background was, and for the most part, just being in the conscious community. I dabbled into Yoruba traditions and trying to understand, you know, that science. I spent a long time in a Sarset society, which is a ancient African civilization system that studies cosmologics and the tree of life and uses the spheres of the tree of life to kind of govern your day-to-day reprogramming using meditations and things like that to basically change your conduct, right? But you know, being in Jersey, everybody's a 5%er in my time, you know what I'm saying? So that was just common. We was all 5%ers, all Zulu Nation. I was a part of all of that. Really, bottom line was I definitely was pro-black. When I, you know, Roots, when I watched Roots as a child, it did something to me. But the one thing, you know, the ISUPK kind of like woke me up is that when I was looking at Roots all my life, I used to say, yeah, the white man came on boats to Africa and the motherland, and he put the Bible in the hand and he snatched us up and they took our land. You know what I'm saying?
Well.
But when I go back and watch Roots now, I'm like, wait a minute, it won't no white dudes grabbing no black people. It was Africans capturing black people.
Them motherfuckers.
And so I'm like, and I used to hear white people say, you sold your own people. I used to hear that. I'm like, nah, that ain't true. That ain't true. That's why I love this truth. I love the ISUPK. Like, I don't even say how anybody who's not asking every question they have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But my spirituality was being spiritual. You know, basically being selfish, being about me. God talks to me. You know what I'm saying? Right. I have a personal relationship with him. I got money. God loves me. I didn't get money. Oh, you know what I'm saying? God still loves me. But I was just a fool. I was just a selfish, wicked bastard. And I was a liar. I was a criminal. You know what I'm saying? I was a sinner. In all actuality, what drives my zeal in this truth is that I found out that I owe. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. Like I've done so much bad and so much wicked shit that I owe. Once I found out the story of Christ, when I found out, like when you slow it down, it's one thing to say, oh, he was crucified, he was on the cross. But when you go through the steps of that, when you go through being stabbed in the side, when you go through having a crown of thorns and you actually imagine blood dripping into your eyes. You imagine being so thirsty. So I used to drink vinegar, you know, for health purposes. But imagine someone you so thirsty and parched, and someone give you vinegar. People criticizing, cursing at you, whipping you, berating you, and then to have your lungs collapsing, being held up in this position. You know what I'm saying? Having stakes being nailed into you. And knowing you had the power to end it all. He could have got down. He could have had all of them catch a stroke if he wanted to. But he actually did what he did. He was allowed himself to be sacrificed. So Officer Iraq could exist. You understand what I'm saying? He gave me another chance because I was dead. The person I was before I got that oil on my head, he's dead. He's dead. I was the walking dead. I was all about me consuming. You know what I'm saying? Got this money scheme, get rich here. Oh, yo, I got a lick over here. I got these credit cards over here. You did it. I was doing whatever. And now I realize I owe. My life right now is not my own. My life belongs to the Most High, belongs to Christ. That's my king. And this school is the only representation of how to do it. And anyone else who disagrees, love me enough and show me. You feel me? Because that's my thing also, is like everybody want to talk from the side, right? But they don't love me enough to show how the ISUPK is not the home of the church. They don't love me enough to show me the evidence that this is a lie. You know what I mean? They don't love me enough. But Officer Abraham loved me enough to get out of his comfort zone to travel here and teach me who I was.
That's right.
I got uncles that are pastors. I got kings and Shechems and different organizations from the world. And I asked them, come here and bust them up. Beat the ISUPK. Show them that they're wrong. Show them that we're Egyptian. Show them that the black man is God. I'm a 5%. Show it then. No, they stay away. They don't come because they don't love me. They don't love us. You understand what I'm saying? The people that love us are all, I call Captain Atta right now. I call General Haas right now. They're going to answer the phone. And any question I have, General Muhammad, he's going to answer it. He's going to show me. No one else in the world does that. They just hold on to their own understanding and say, I have my personal relationship with God. So again, I was selfish. I was spiritual. I was doing witchcraft. I had oracle cards. I was doing mantras and had cows. I was vibrating, like doing channeling. All of that I didn't think was witchcraft. I thought this is African culture. I'm thinking I'm African. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. We burn the sage. You know what I'm saying? We get the cowrie shells. You know what I'm saying? We do readings. You know what I'm saying? We get a higher understanding that we think what we're doing is of the Lord until I actually got this Bible broken down to me and realized that's not for us. Yeah, that stuff works. That's why people do it.
Yeah.
You get the reading, it may be accurate, but we're not supposed to be doing that.
Right.
You feel me? Like you might eat some bats and it might taste a little whatever. We're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to eat that. Bacon might taste good. Pork might taste good. But it's not for us. Okay. So when I see it specifically in the Bible that there's 18 nations and then it's like, which one are we? And we fit the description of the curses. You understand that we are and then that the Bible is for Israel, then game is over for me. Because I ain't Moab and I'm damn ain't Esau. I ain't none of these other people. I ain't Elam. I ain't none of these people. I'm a nigga.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And the Most High gave us the laws to follow.
It's the niggerdom.
And because of that, I had to submit.
That's
you know what I'm saying? I had to come in. I had to come in here, I'm still grateful. I'm not disappointed. This is the right decision. People on the outside looking at me like, oh, you always trying something new. First you was this, first you was that. Nah, this is it. Because out of everything I was in, it never told me who we were. You know what I'm saying? It never gave me my identity. This gave me my identity. I know who we are, and that's the bottom line. So
damn right. Hey, look, we didn't join on so low. We're gonna have to end up doing. I think that's the best thing to do.
A part two.
I'm gonna end it with two quick questions. I need y'all, Salak, y'all the one. It's like in the minute above me to be brief. And then y'all might got something to say to end it off. But first, I want to ask Mahayar a quick question, if I could. I wrote this down. Mahayar, so this is personal for me. I said, Mahayar, you were damn near like my personal liaison coming into the truth. I relied on you early on when I came in to know about what was happening with camp in classes, for rides, all of that. You remember. And when I found out, you know what I'm saying, we skipping ahead, but that's part of, you know, it's how it goes.
That's how it rolls.
When I found out what your name meant, it all made sense. If y'all don't know, I mean, I don't want to, I'll let you say it, but
I'll say it.
what was,
Get down. Get
I'll
down.
say what his name is.
what does Mahayar mean?
Mahayar in Hebrew, it means diligent.
Wrong.
No, I'm playing.
What?
It doesn't.
Mahayar means diligent.
Hey, but what our rock mean? We ain't get our rock name.
What? Come on, what does our rock mean?
Our rock means
You're going
he who bringeth order or something like that.
That's
order. It means order.
it means
He who
order.
brings to order.
Bringing order.
Order.
Yeah.
Damn
Yeah.
right.
And my name means king.
It doesn't mean that at all.
It does.
So
So the
Salakia,
question?
my question is again, when I found out what your name meant, it all made sense. I said, what? My question is, what was like your mindset? Like, you know, again, we talked about like the origin of how you came in, but going forward, what was your mindset coming to the school that allowed you to live up to that concept of diligence so strongly? Because when I came in,
That's a beautiful
this,
question.
I'm again, I shout out to Officer Abraham again. Because you heard how Officer Abraham talked about Officer Yahweh. They're the same rank. They're the
Most
same
High
rank.
Christ.
Officer Yahweh doesn't outrank Officer Abraham, but you see the reverence that he has for him because of how much he
Huh.
helped him. Me and Yaramat are the same rank. There was a time when he outranked me. Salaki, sir.
Salakia. Officer Yahweh does outrank me. We're the same rank. And Salakia for this correction, but a lot of brothers don't understand this concept. We're the same rank. We're both 5,000s, but Officer Yahweh was an officer of 50 before me.
Come.
I then became an officer of 50 a year later. And General Hazayan always instilled in us because General Hazayan, General Mayak, and General Muhammad are all the same rank.
Come.
But General Muhammad outranks them both.
Come.
You understand? Like this school is about order. One comes before two. Two comes before three. And you may have brothers that are the same rank in this school, but that how they got the same rank is different. And there'll always be a brother that got that rank before you. And you should always pay reverence to the brothers that get that rank before you, because no matter what you do, they still outrank you. And when you start to think that because we the same rank, so I don't have to tell you con out of one con anymore, then your pride is coming before your fall. You understand? Remember that. Remember that, because that's real important in the school. You understand? These brothers in here, I have the same rank as Officer Iraq, but Officer Iraq would be it's the spirit behind the ranking. You understand?
Absolutely, Most High.
And
For sure.
I have the same rank as Officer Yahweh, but when Officer Yahweh speaks to me, it's con out of one con, sir. You understand?
Come.
Officer Zion has the same rank as us, but when Officer Zion speaks to me, it's con out of one con, sir.
Come.
You understand? And when you forget that rank, and when you forget that men came before you, even though you may be the same rank, you forget what this school is all about. And you forget what God is about. And God is about order.
Salaki, the water for that. Absolutely on point. You know what I'm saying? Again, I just meant more so in the terms of me and Yaramak is interesting because when I came in, he outranked me when I came in, but then for a short period of time, I outranked him. Like it was like we switched ranks, and then we kind of met in the middle. You know what I'm saying? But I always give him props, regardless of that, for teaching me so much coming in. And what I'm saying is, as of right now, me and Officer Mahayar, I outrank him. But I would be remiss to not give him his flowers for how much of an influence he was on me coming into the troop.
Can we shout out Officer Mahayar? Real quick.
Despite, you know what I'm saying, being lower in rank than me. he was an influence on me because when I came in, he was a person that I saw who was younger than me, but was coming in, and everything he got told, he did it. Everything that was like, we need to be here, he's there. We need to go here, he's there. Oh, you need me to drive an hour and a half away from camp to go pick up a brother and then go back in the opposite direction to go to camp? Come on, I'll do it.
Or you need to go to CIAA weekend with me.
Come on.
Yeah, he was there. He was there for that too.
So I'm saying all to say this, and again, we gonna end it. But my question was,
it was a beautiful question.
So Salakia, so again, because we pressed for time, and I know you probably got a lot to say on it, bro. But I know you're a man of few words anyway, so this shouldn't be hard for you. But your mindset early on, what was it that allowed you to just exemplify diligence so strongly?
Just to keep it like just short and sweet, it was to actually have structure in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I come from a family where, you know, masculinity died in my family when my grandfather died. You know, there was no, you know, I wasn't raised with my father, didn't really have uncles and stuff like that. So like my family is run by women. So it was always just feminine vibes, feminine spirits around my whole life. So I'm just doing what I want to do. You know what I mean? I never really had no direction. That's why I always admired the relationship between Officer Rock and Officer Yaramat, because that dynamic of father and son is something that I always longed for. You know what I mean? So I always, you know, watch them and, you know, see how they were. So for me, it was just to have a man tell me what to do. I never had that in my life. You know what I mean? Of course, I was in the streets and, you know, had, you know, doing what I was doing. But it was a lack of, it was poor leadership. You know what I mean? I was just doing this because I just wanted to cleave on to something. So for me, with the truth, it was just to be happy to be doing something and getting instruction by people that I knew cared about me. People I knew loved me. You know what I mean? I found value in myself, knew I had a higher purpose. So it meant something to be at a certain place on time.
That's right.
Because someone's expecting me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not to go, you know, hit a lick or do something violent, but to actually, you know, raise up God's chosen people. And it's like, I love how, you know, the generals always bring down, like, even somebody who has a role of cleaning the toilet or just holding the door in here, that is an honorable responsibility to have. It's a great responsibility on the earth. So, you know, just when you mention a thing like driving or something like that, like things like that mean a lot to me. It meant a lot to me, and it still does. But back then, it was just having the direction. It wasn't really nothing for me. Like I said, I was still young. I was still like a sponge. I wasn't stuck in my ways. I wasn't too indoctrinated. You know what I mean? But no, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cut it short. But yeah, for me, it was just a lack of leadership. And then once I came in here, I had a leadership and had a direction. It was just
so like I have to add to that. I have to, got to.
Please.
As far as his diligence, I definitely would not be who I am without his diligence. Specifically, just diligence. Specifically, he made me take notes every class. I had to be in every class. I had to cite the alphabet at any time.
Well, how y'all know each other?
That's my husband.
What?
But as far as just being as sisterly as I possibly can to everyone,
that's how you got the job.
That's how I got the job. But I'm proud of the fact that I have a relationship with damn near every sister in the Durham school. I take sisterhood very, very important. I love them, and I wouldn't be here without them. And it was instilled in me because of the diligence of my husband. He would not let me be unsisterly ever. Ever.
Sidebar, shout out to Sister Thawar. Give her a hand clap to Sister Thawar. The funny thing is that she's like the Yaramak of sisters.
Okay.
What I mean by that is, listen,
hold on,
gotta hear me out.
No.
Y'all gotta hear me out. She's good now, but y'all pause. Yaramak is like the glue. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He's like the one that like pause, like everybody gravitates towards.
I don't even know if I'm
brothers together and so
shit
on.
don't gravitate towards glue. That's not how glue works. I'm like
the magnet.
Like God, baby.
Oh Lord.
Hey, look, everybody search for God.
The sister right here is again, she exemplifies sisterhood so strongly. You know what I'm saying? All of them sisters, man, they gravitate towards her, and she is again, like her husband, is very diligent in this truth. You know what I'm saying? Very diligent with the work that she does. So shout out to Sister Dawar. We're going to ask one more question, and then y'all am I going to close it out with something special. Okay. The last question, it just wouldn't be right if this is part one. We're gonna do part two.
Got to.
Overside Rock. Again, Overside Rock is the camp leader of Durham. Nothing happens in Durham without him knowing about it, without, you know what I'm saying, his say-so from his conversations with Captain Nyataki and everything. So shout out to Overside Rock. But I got to ask you this. You know what I'm saying? Again, you are now the camp leader of this city. Like,
of my city,
of the city of Durham,
Bull City,
a city that you have had ties to.
How you gonna be the
all
camp
your
leader
life
of my city?
It's my city, man. The camp leader of Durham, North Carolina, and something that's always just been like interesting to me, and we kind of touched on it, but I just want to hear pause from you. Your son, Officer Yarmak, we heard his perspective. Coming into this thing that you know is what is the best for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. This thing that you understand is the truth. Coming into this with your firstborn son right with you. Please describe that for us and that journey that's still happening and still going on.
Really?
How has that been, and how would you just describe that?
Yeah, that was a good question.
When Christ was told, when he was speaking to the people, and you know, someone came to him and said, your mother and your brother, they want you, you know, interrupted him. And Christ kind of like, you know, was like, behold, put his hands out to the people that was listening to what he was teaching. He said, behold, my mother and my brethren. You know, kind of with disdain that his mother, his actual biological mother and his biological brother weren't there with him. You understand? Yarmak he's his own man, you know what I'm saying? But him coming into this truth was his choice. I don't force, you know, my children to come in. I present it to them, but he made a conscious decision. And, you know, Yarmak is a well decorated athlete from day one. You know, I put him through a lot of activities and pressures and things to I always say prison ready, because I feel like black men get falsely accused of things, and we could go to prison anytime. So you got to know how to handle yourself, and you got to be able to handle yourself. And I just didn't want that for him. I didn't want him to be a victim. I didn't want him to be victimized. But Officer Yarmak, he came in this truth, and he blossomed more than he ever could have in the world of sports and games and things like that. When he stated that, I call him, I'm sincerely looking at this brother teach, and I see the spirit of the Lord in him. I see his ability to polarize and bring people together. I see him in a world that is not for him, where, you know, you look at Yarmak as a worldly man, you know, oh, you don't make six figures, you don't do this. That's because he wasn't built like that. That's not what he's built for. He's not even supposed to be worried about finances. He's not even supposed to be worried about housing and the things that worldly jakes have to worry about, because this brother is almost, it's like looking at a Malcolm X if you were at that time, you know, to look at how we look at Malcolm X, you know, in the world, like, wow, you know, that's history, or Muhammad Ali or Martin Luther King, but to actually see it in real time, to see this brother bring brothers that's older than him and brothers and sisters that's younger than him all together, and yet all speaking truth with a certain vibe about him, where it's like, yo, who is this cat? What does he do? Is he a rapper? What is he? Is he got money? Like, he can make you believe anything, you know, as far as about his lifestyle, but really he's a family man. You know, this brother, when he has children, beautiful children, he loves them. And
Damn right.
And that is a dichotomy that is biblical, because the relationship with the Most High and us is kind of like us and our children. You know what I'm saying? So when he has these wonderful children that he loves, and you could just tell he loves them, he protects them, and he has made me the most proudest. He's my most prized possession. You understand? He's my most prized possession, because at one point we thought his life was over. You understand? One point we thought his life was over, and he never comes to me until it's too late. You know what I'm saying? When he has something. But what I see in him, I'm proud of him. You know, I can sincerely say I'm proud, and that's because of Commander Junior Hunter. That's because of Captain Athar, Officer Abraham, Officer Yahweh. They help bring out what I try to put in him, but they also instill the spirit of the Most High. So how does it feel? I don't necessarily look at him any different than I would look at Mahayar or Sadak. Shout out to Sadak.
Shout out to Officer Sadak out in St. Croix.
I got other sons that are still towing the line or undecided. You understand? I got other sons that's undecided, and they are my biological sons. You know what I'm saying? But Sadak not. Well, Sadak is here in the spirit. Imagine. But this is not just, my biological. This is my brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind. Obviously, Yermak is my brother. He is a soldier. He a warrior, and I know he is. I know what he's worth. Why? Because Hebrew Academy. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We went through Hebrew Academy together. I see I get down. Officer Batazar.
Same class 2018, baby.
2018. Shout out.
2018.
Yeah.
Oh, Batazar won in the crowd.
Yeah.
Shout out to Butter.
We was in that line together, and one thing I know is Officer Yermak is not gonna run.
We said 20.
What I know.
Hold on, y'all.
Listen, I've been in situations, and I know that Officer Yermak is not gonna run. He ain't gonna just let nothing happen. You know what I'm saying? Me and Yermak got it. What was it? We got into a dispute because there was a shootout, and I'm trying to tell him to go get the children, go stay over there so I can focus. He's like, no, because if something happened to you, no.
I was there.
And so I'm like, damn. I'm like, I can't focus on what I'm focusing on because now I'm worried about you. So go back. Nah, you just gonna have to check me then, because I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not gonna let nothing happen to you. I'm gonna jump in front of the bullet. No, I'm gonna jump in front of the bullet. No, I'm gonna jump in front of the bullet. No, I'm gonna jump in front of the bullet. And I'm like, damn, I created a fucking monster.
Damn right.
You know,
that was a beautiful answer. Beautiful answer.
But to answer your question, it feels no different. Officer Maya Shaw is my brother, is my son. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, you know what I mean? We brothers in here because we under that banner. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no difference. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is. Salaki.
Show them.
Hey, look.
Yeah, man.
Part 2 coming.
We gotta have a part 2, man. We ain't gonna hold y'all because we way over the time. Y'all didn't get the stories of our trips to Alabama. Y'all ain't got the story of how me and Tabawan, the first time me and him ever hung out, there was a fight. Y'all didn't get that story. Y'all didn't get the CIAA weekend stories with me and Mahayar. How me, Mahayar, and Thawa had our first apartment, then we moved into the next. No, I remember we had our first apartment that he asked Thawa to move in.
No, and you asked me to move in, sir.
Well, it was a conversation. Listen, we gonna talk about it. We got so
correction.
The shoe. Somebody.
Officer Abraham. Yeah. Make sure you tell the Officer Abraham part of it.
Yeah, but look. The shoe. We had a whole shootout at Eva Street while we doing class. I was there for that one. And someone got unalived across the street while class was going on.
Yes, I remember that.
A rock got put in handcuffs, all kinds of crazy shit. You know, so yeah, damn, it's great. Yeah, it was a whole lot. All the chaos. All the the boot kiss in Greensboro that we got from the white man at the club, got the boot kiss, right when we passed the officer's test. The Hebrew Academy, the stories, the wars we went through, the battles, the corrections, and and everything that we did to try to put in our brick, like Officer Abraham said, to build this thing for the Most High, man. So we definitely gonna have to do a part 2 because it wouldn't be doing no justice to try to just, put it in this amount of time that we have here, man. But without further ado, I do want to do a shameless plug and this. We did a raffle for javelin. We had a couple winners. A couple winners is in the building today. The other winners couldn't make it, so I'll just be shipping them their stuff. But I did want to give the people who did. I do owe their javelin to them. I want to give it to them right now. So if I could, let me see here. Officer Nadiab, let me come on up, man.
You're supposed to already have it out the bag, sir.
Nadiab won. Nadiab, what you say you wanted? I think Nadiab, I think that's you. I think that's Nadiab. He got the long sleeve, medium. And then Sister Sapa, y'all. It's Sister Sapa. Sapa, y'all. I got your blackout. She wanted the blackout hoodie, the zip up hoodie, the black on black, man. But shout out to everybody who's been doing that. Of course, I got Yanazar's too. Yanazar couldn't be here tonight. But the water to everybody that support Javelin, man, and support the show, the raffles. Make sure y'all tuning into the CBP, to hear about the raffles. The water for you, sis. Again, the water to y'all for showing up, tonight is very important for us. It's very important for the school. On behalf of Commander General Yohana, we appreciate y'all, just supporting this whole thing, and and continuing supporting. This is important for Black people. You may not be able to understand it right now. This may be your first time even being inside this building, or don't have no idea what the hell we talking about. But the things that we are talking about is very much real. You got brothers like Abraham, Howard, Iraq, myself, and the brothers up here at this table who could have been living completely different lives. But these stories, as funny as they are, as comedic they are, as sad as they all can be, these stories are the things that molded us into who we are. But these are the stories that some of you will go through. Some of y'all are going to have to go through having to travel. Some of y'all are going to have to go through getting into a fight at the club. It's going to happen. You're going to go to the club. You're going to get in a fight. You ain't going to know what to do with yourself. But y'all going to learn from the men above y'all, for one, how to not let that happen. And if it happened, you better go kick some ass for your brothers. I'm going to go tell you that right now. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But, we got a lot more going on for the night. So don't think that we ended it, because we ain't ending it. We just getting into it. This part 1 for the night. So we about to clip it up right here, man, and we gonna load up. And I think we about to skip the cleanup part because we ain't got time. We just gonna load up.
Yeah, we can come back and do that. I can come in here tomorrow.
Okay, kind. And then we gonna roll. Top one, you got anything you want to say? This is Top One show too, by the way.
Mr. CBP.
For those who don't know, this show was started by Officer Tabawan.
What was it called? Weren't you on an old show?
It does not exist.
Okay.
That show does not exist
I
anymore.
swear I was watching you.
But
Here we go.
But
all right.
Oh, okay.
hey, the water to y'all, man. Hey, yo, let's roll, man. Let's roll.
And with that,
Shalom.
Shalom, y'all. The water.